right, let's see if we can get Instagram to go live. Here we go. All right, how are we going to work this? Trying to get Instagram and YouTube working at the same time. Going, everyone. Just jumped on to talk about the news I've been reading. The news that I read today is about a chief living in a different state. Just curious what you guys' thoughts and opinions are for a chief living in a different area. Me personally, I don't care. I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm curious what y'all think. Might be a discussion worth having. Look at that stash. What's up, Brett? Yeah. Don't get too attached to the mustache. It's not staying, I promise you. I have a military ceremony coming up the end of next week, and I just wanted my face to get used to being shaved so it didn't get all crazy bumps and stuff. And I look more ridiculous without a mustache. So, but the beard will come back, I promise you. Your fire mustache is preventing you from going live on both. Is it? Am I not live on my YouTube channel? Let's see here. I am trying to get these windows to be smaller. I'm working off a laptop outside, obviously, so just get bored. Try to do some different things. So there's a chief. Somebody's asking. Abby's asking what chief. There's a chief out of California that is commuting from Ohio. At least that's the allegation. Personally, don't care. Chiefs, in my opinion, they do the job from the phone anyway. Technology's gotten to the point. I mean, look what I'm doing right now. Technology's gotten to the point where that's not a big deal. Um, uh, one cop, two streams from Corey. Looks like it is. Looks like it is working. And yep, it is. It's going through to YouTube, and we're over here on Instagram. So yeah, we got both going. That's cool. I tried to get TikTok going, but TikTok does not work on Macs, apparently. So wasn't able to get that one working as well. But the point being, uh, I agree with Brett. I think it would be optimal, but not required. And then the other problem that people had was the fact that the chief was sleeping at the sector. Listen, guys, that's nothing new. That's happened historically for years. Every sector I've ever worked in has had cots available. Officers that work midnights, they have court in the morning. They don't want to drive back home. They sleep, get up early, go to court. Um, you also get cops that they get stuck over. They end up working like a 14, 16, 18-hour shift sometimes. Just it's the first responder world. Shit happens. So, and we're talking about a chief level, y'all. Chief. The chief isn't out there. I promise. The chief is not out in the streets. You don't need him there. You don't need him there. So, yes, you need him to be present. So him staying there and working his week and staying at the sector, I think that's a guy that's dedicated to the job, and that's what you want. Red Ninja said, I don't care as long as it's not against their rules and regs. If he's committed to the department, his performance isn't lacking. I do worry about the camaraderie with the agency. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Brett said, but taxpayers shouldn't be having to pay for extra housing. They're not paying for extra housing. He's sleeping in the sector that is designed to do that. Because guess what taxpayers pay for with their firefighters? They sleep in the firehouse. It's no different. People are just butthurt because it's a cop. I don't hear anybody saying shit about firefighters sleeping in the firehouse. I don't hear anybody saying shit about firefighters taking the fire truck up to the grocery store to buy all their groceries for the week. So you're gonna get mad that a chief has to probably live out of state just to afford some sort of decent living? I don't get the argument. The department's not paying for anything. Police departments are 24/7. So the building's always going to be occupied anyway. Now, if he was having a hotel and they were paying for the hotel, that's different. I get that. I would be upset about that too. We didn't agree to house you and put up a bill for you to be staying at a hotel, but that's not what's happening. At least not to what I know. Knockout said, "Gonna miss the cops. Trump is replacing Trump is replacing them with proud children." I don't know what that means exactly, but I think it's a political joke. Bling bling, it's my life. He's mad because he doesn't get as much girls as cops. Alexia Flores giving hearts. Hi, Alexia. It is cold and rainy in Texas today, by the way. Brett said, "Yeah, that'd be a problem. Your choice to live elsewhere, not my tax dollars problem. It's not, I don't see how it's affecting your tax dollars. It's actually better for your tax dollars because you have a chief that's there 24/7, probably for 5 days in a row or for 4 days in a row. You're actually getting more of a benefit than you are if you were living off the grounds. Um, I know cops that have their own campers and they do the same thing. They live an hour and a half, 2 hours away, so they just bring their camper, they sleep out in their camper and then go they stay their tour, they stay there 4 days, and then they drive back home. Asker 66 said the people will pay for it, assuming an accident happens, a fire at the station, the legal battle afterwards will. That's such a poor argument. That could happen. They're carrying guns, guys. It's like worrying about an accidental discharge. Like shit happens. Doesn't matter if he's sleeping there or not. Again, they're 24/7 buildings. They're always operational. Alexia Flores says, I want to be a cop, a hot cop. You should focus just on being a cop first before you worry about being a hot cop. Worley, America first. Like America. I don't think anybody's arguing America first. I'm just looking to see who's just jumping on. If you're just jumping on Instagram, we're talking about how a chief is commuting from California to Idaho back and forth. He works out of California. I'm of the opinion it doesn't make a difference. No one gave a crap about firefighters have been doing it forever. There's California firefighters that live out of Arizona. I know that one for a fact. And they fly back and forth when they do their tours. Again, nobody cared until it was a cop, which is stupid. It's dumb. It is not costing the taxpayers anything extra. If anything, you're getting a benefit from it. Brett said, "Son of a bitch, I keep having internet issues." Bling bling, it's my life said, "Why do we make women pay for people who don't make their fair share?" I don't even, bro, this is a police page. First responders. We're not talking about that. Uh, he said firefighters get everything, man. You ain't lying. I'm not a bot 404. I think you are a bot. Blue Shield Tactical. I just seen they joined. What's up, guys? If you guys don't know Blue Shield Tactical, check them out. It's a good page. But Chaplain Campbell, love those hose slinger stash. Thanks. I promise it's temporary. 2 weeks max is as long as this thing's staying on. All right, guys. I see some political chat in the YouTube channel. We're talking about the news with the chief that's commuting back and forth from California to Idaho, uh, and seeing what people think about that. We don't get into politics on here, y'all. But I do appreciate you commenting. Thanks. This morning I'm enjoying my Quest protein breakfast, protein bar, Oreo cookie, if you're wondering. And Wildin' Watermelon Bang. Well, it's cold and rainy. Well, I don't know if you guys can tell. It is gross. Gross out today. To the point where I had to wear a hoodie. Blue Burberry drip. If you're a cop, how many people's rights do you violate? None. Actually, if you watch our page, we call out police that violate rights, and we also show cops that do really good work. So, but I appreciate the comment, sir. What about hugging an on-duty officer? I don't have hugs are great. I have no problem with hugs. Hugs, handshakes, elbow bumps, fist bumps, whatever. I'm all for all of it. If you want to shake my hand, assuming your hand's not disgustingly gross looking, I'm going to use hand sanitizer immediately after anyway, so don't be offended. But yeah, I'll shake your hand. Michael T. Who cares where he commutes from as long as he's available to do the job? Agreed. Again, guys, when serious shit goes down, let's say it's a hostage, or a bank robbery, the most serious of stuff. Chief's not there. The chief is just made aware of what's going on. And usually, because of technology now, you can keep them updated instantly, almost instantly. Raven Ply, what is the ratio of corrupt cops, would you say? I have no idea. Because if I see a corrupt cop, I'll turn them in or bust them myself. I hope that answers your question. I have no idea. And most of the time on videos that I've seen of corrupt cops, they've been either fired or charged. So guess it depends on your definition of what a corrupt cop is. Is it a cop that screws up? Is it a cop that's on the take, taking money? I mean, it's all different types. Brett McClendon, let me say that right. Had to go to an accident scene yesterday right after driving back from Colorado. Introduced some troopers to the channel. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Blue Shield Tactical. Commuting from another state is perfectly acceptable if the employer is aware and has agreed to it. Fair. And when someone is hired under those conditions, it means the commute is part of the arrangement. That is also true. And that's something that hasn't been disclosed that I've seen yet. So that is a very fair argument. Like where I'm at, the the rule is I think you have to live within 50 miles. I think that's part of our general orders. Or within an hour of driving, something like that. I can't remember. As a police officer, and it changes as you level up, I think. I never really worry about it. I'm about 15 minutes from work, always. I shouldn't say always. I mean, when is the day that I got to work? The word corrupt gets mistreated a lot in modern times, says Tasker 66. Corrupt means abuse their power. Okay. Um, if I would be a fair guess, I'd say about 10% abuse their power. I don't know. It's okay. Raven, let me kind of put where my mind's going in perspective. For me to give you a fair number on that, I would have to know all 18,000 police jurisdictions in the nation, have some fair statistical significant number of me having experience with all of those jurisdictions, which I don't. I've got I've got about 15 police departments that I can just think of off the top of my head. And if you compare that to the 750,000-ish approximate cops that are in the nation, for me to say that I would have a fair grasp at how many cops abuse their power knowingly or unknowingly versus that 750,000, I know a small fraction. I don't even think I even know 1%. I think I know less than 1% of police. So when people jump on and they start complaining that they all cops do this, all firefighters do that, or all, you're being disingenuous because you can't possibly have that many encounters with police. I'm a cop and I don't have that many encounters. So for people to come out and throw out these very bold statements, I don't think that that's I don't think that that's fair. I don't think that's genuine. I think it's more emotional than being, objective and reasonable. But yeah, that's how I look at that. You're welcome. He said, thanks for answering my question. Yeah. But that 10%, I guess, is just going off of the statistics of how many videos and stuff I've seen where I think that the cop was absolutely abusing their power. And a lot of times I think it's a training issue. And that's kind of why we started the page. Is it's training. Usually it comes down to training. You get like a common one. Cops think because they're called to the scene that they automatically have a right to somebody's ID. It's not true. But that's a training issue. That's not somebody going out and intentionally, in my opinion, intentionally abusing their power. I think it's them going out and somebody ahead of them, an FTO or something, told them like, no, this is legal because we got called here. And they weren't trained properly. And then that just has a snowball effect at a department. So it's funny, we get a lot more people from YouTube than we do on Instagram, and Instagram has way more followers. Crazy. I guess I just don't understand how the live stuff works fully on Instagram because I don't use it that much. I see EMT badge 502's in the house. He said, you're. But guys, make sure if you guys don't know EMT 502, I'm sorry, EMT badge 502, go to his page. One of my buddies. Great. He's funny. He's just funny dude. Knows his shit. He is an actual EMT. He's a dispatcher as well. He knows all of that stuff on that side of the house for first responders. So hoping to get him on some of our shows that we plan on making here. Tasker 66 said, to be fair, most of videos of cops are bad in nature. This type of video gets attention, but in the mindset that there are a lot of bad cops, cause staying silent by abuse of power leads also to a bad cop. Yeah. Um, I, th- I think there's people don't understand like a lot of the bad cop stuff that you see and you're like, all those cops stood by and did nothing. Something usually, if it's bad, will end up happening after the fact. It's not that the cops didn't, people want the cops to do something right then and there, and they do something afterwards. So it's just a matter of patience and perspective. People want instant justice right then and there, and that's not always the case. In theory, it is still abusing power by the trainer, if not the trainee. Trainer is a power position and should not be taken so lightly. Agreed. Training the trainer, you got to remember, some people just get stuck. They get voluntold, hey, you've got the most experience, you're training this new guy. So imagine the type of product you're going to get with a cynical, disgruntled person that's got to train a new guy that he didn't want to train. That happens a lot. Lennon, 2106. Are you going to answer my question today, or are you going to dodge them as usual because you're still in service? What question did you have? I must not have seen it. I'm sorry. Send it again, Lennon. Lennon. Can't say your name, dude. I'm gonna call you Lenny. Lenny, send it. Let me go back and see if I can find it. Blue Shield Tactical said a police department reflects the character of the community it serves. If corruption is widespread among its officers, it points to a deeper societal issue, one that requires serious attention. I agree. I agree. I mean, if you look at no disrespect to New Orleans, but if you look historically at New Orleans, they weren't supported. Um, Widespread corruption, for the longest time to where they got put under a consent decree. Um, So yeah, I think that goes right to what he's saying. And Lenny, I don't dodge questions, so nice try. One of the things is though is I'm watching two different chats, so it's hard for me to keep up. Escapist said that's a fine mustache, but not as nice as my wife's. Oh, Joe Man said some stupid shit. I'm not gonna read it. Have a topic in mind for your podcast if you're interested. I'm always interested in suggestions. Come on, man, send it. Bikes and Bullets said good morning. Two cops, one donut, everyone. Morning. Wade Lucero's in the house, one of my guys. He'll throw out some good questions for sure. He said, hello, Sergeant. Wave said, hope y'all are having a blessed day. I'm energizing up with this bang. I'm getting my breakfast in with this protein bar, cookies and cream. And we're talking about a chief commuting from California to his home in Idaho, I think. King Pomegranate, what kind of oversight is there for training new officers in your experience? And what we needs to change in that respect. Okay, so where I'm at is a great program. We actually have the old school way used to be called a rookie book and have all these little checklist items that you're supposed to hit. That was okay, but now we actually have an FTO program where the FTO goes through his own training to learn how to be an FTO. Then we have a computer program that it's not just a book where you have to hand fill it out anymore. Now you can actually type out full-fledged thoughts. So what's really important is for FTOs to give feedback. And if there's a specific call, they can get as detailed as they want. So having this FTO program, I think, was a game changer. And then having an FTO program where the you're not just sticking somebody with a rookie, they are volunteering, so it's a volunteer basis, and they get a stipend. So you get paid a little more, um, and you get some benefits for stepping up and being an FTO, which is I think warranted. Because if I'm just getting paid the same as every other cop, and then you're forcing me to train somebody, again, what type of product are you going to get? But if you sweeten the deal a little bit and you say, hey, if you guys volunteer for this and you go through the training, you'll get a ribbon on your uniform, you'll get a little extra pay, you'll be allowed to work overtime more often because you're trying to train your rookie. So things like that, I think, make a really good program. It gets the people that want to do the job doing the job, and they get properly trained. So I think all of that, and then with that electronic program, that software that you follow for the FTO program, I think it's really important because now it's trackable forever. Like you, where are you going to keep an actual rookie book, the physical copy? Like that's just gonna take up space, cost taxpayer money. But that program, now we're just storing something that it's a very minimal file. We're talking KBs. Excuse me. It's not like gigabytes or anything like that. So I think that that is really good. Ben Latham, all cops will pay. Yeah, I'll pay taxes. So that's fair. Pay my taxes. Meatloaf, do you understand why most of the public don't like police, or do you think they are wrong? No, I get it. And I don't think most of the public doesn't like police. I think there's a good portion that doesn't like police, but you don't know everybody. So that's an impossible statistic for you to even have, that you think most people, maybe most people in your circle, but if you come out where I'm at, most people like the cops. How do I know that? Every time I've sat down at a restaurant, people pay for your food, or you get in a fight on the side of the road with a bad guy and people jump in to help. They don't just stand there and videotape. Most people where I'm at, we have a half-cent tax where I'm at. That gets voted on every few years, and that passes with like 90% approval rating. It's a half-cent tax, so it goes directly to the police. So just depends on your location. But If you're asking me, do I understand why there are instances where people can't stand police? Yes. Look at the Sonia Massey case with the boiling water that we just saw. That made me hate that guy. You know, look at how many First Amendment auditors are getting fucked with because they're out there flexing their constitutional rights and a cop doesn't know his job, doesn't understand, and he goes out and violates that person's rights. So yes, I understand there are things that, again, it's ignorance on both sides because there's cops that they think they know the law and they don't. It's their egos. Egos is a big problem. And it doesn't help that the only time you really watch it, you see any cop videos is bad stuff. It's not good stuff. So we don't do enough as society to support the good stuff that police are doing. Deck Tester, he said, we all hate seeing in our rearview mirror. Yeah, I do too. I can't tell you how many times I've been driving down the freeway. I'll be doing the speed limit, which most of the time I'm not, but I'll be doing the speed limit and I'll see a cop and I freak out. It never goes away. Even when you're a cop, it never goes away. I'm looking for Lenny's question, by the way, but he hasn't said it. I want to make sure I don't forget. Nina Sandra said, I would be thinking it would be against department policy. It doesn't make sense. We hate seeing, Wade said, that's why we are here, Meatloaf. I am Team Citizen and Eric. I butt heads, but we are trying. Yeah. You just got to have the discussions. The problem is, and one of the reasons we started this platform is how often does anybody really get to sit down and talk to a cop and ask questions? Not too often. And then you got to get a cop that has the experience to do so. Because if you get a guy that's been on the job 5 years, you're only going to get that 5 year perspective. I've been on the job 20 years. I'm a military cop. I'm a municipal cop. I've been an instructor. I've got my master's degree in criminology and criminal justice. I'm on the National Real Time Crime Center Association as an executive board member. So I'm on the technology side as well. This isn't a brag. I'm just giving you my experience so you can understand where I'm coming from. I was an academy instructor. I'm a big proponent that all cops should be a minimum blue belt in grappling. I favor Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but which I'm going to be a lifelong purple belt. I just can't dedicate the time to get a brown and black belt. The old words of wisdom in Jiu Jitsu is when you become a purple belt, you know all the moves. You just gotta sit down and stay consistent and take all those tools and learn how to fine tune your game to get brown and black belt. I don't have that time, but I don't have that kind of time anymore. So OG said, I don't need to watch cops to speak of how poorly they've spoken to and treated me. Well, that's your experience. Again, your experience doesn't mean that it's everybody's. Bikes and Bullets, do you agree that American cops should train in foreign countries? I think we can learn from everybody. I think we can learn from everybody. Hey, Craig Holcomb, you're Air Force cop. Claiming military is a bit of a stretch. Fair, fair. OG, my whole life I've run into many tyrant trash. Okay. Now, OG, I'm going to ask you a question that only you can answer and only you can be truthful to yourself. But have you brought any of that attention to yourself? I don't know you, so I'm just curious. Self-assessment time. Can you honestly say that you never brought any of it? It's just people jumping up and messing with you. Just curious. Tasker, what are your views on police unions? Hate them. Should not be a thing. Police should not have a union. I like associations. I think you should have a voice that represents the wants and needs of the officers. But I don't. I'm not a. Just not my thing. I don't. Not a big fan of unions. Period. I think they. I grew up in Flint, y'all. So unions were a thing, and I watched people abuse the hell out of GM through their unions by striking all the time and doing that sort of thing. Um, I'm just not a big fan. I think they have a place, just like anybody. I think that I like the associations. Again, an association doesn't hold power. They're a voice. And I think you need a voice, but no power. Wade said, I grew up hating cops, been brutalized, but when you research a lot of blame goes to city council and mayors. King Pomegranate said, do you agree or disagree? To get promoted to sergeant or higher, you should need a degree in criminology or law. I disagree. As somebody who has a dual master's, I can tell you that my degree has not helped me in policing, not in a significant way. So I disagree. Thoughts on fraternal order of police? So I was a part of the FOP when I was a cop in Michigan. Never had to use them. Never was a active member in any. I can't really. I don't have the experience to say my thoughts on them. I just I can tell you the only union in policing that I've ever really known anything about or seen that I just think they hold too much power. That's NYPD. Um, on living out of jurisdiction, can sheriff do it since they are elected? I don't know. That's a good question. Probably not. I would assume that a I would assume that a sheriff can't, but I've never been a sheriff, so I don't know. Myra said, I think you're right. It's very individualized. I personally like seeing highway and state police when I'm driving. Makes me feel safe. Same for transit police. Jazz Moore said, I've met you before. You are one of the nicest cops I've ever met. Oh, thanks. Very sweet of you. I guess that's just like anybody. It depends on the mood you catch me. Official Nathan Sturman said, Hey, Eric, what's up? I'm Nathan. Huge fan of you. Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Craig Holcomb said, I disagree in a sense with the degrees not helping. I believe your degrees give you a different perspective, which helps lead us. Yes, yes. Degree, and I've preached that for a long time. I guess I should have clarified. But as far as degrees do help you in perspective. I learned a lot on perspective from my fellow classmates because they were from all over the nation. Uh, for my master's, my bachelor's didn't really give me much perspective at all. Um, but yes, it does give you perspective. But when it comes down and sit down and doing the job, again, my degree does not. I don't show up and become a sergeant from my guys and go, you know what? I'll remember from this class, that this book said this, and I'll tell you the biggest thing that my criminology side helped me is look through bullshit on statistics. Like when I see a statistical report or research, I can see that. Only want to see blueberries and cherries in my fridge. Yeah, I'm with you. Duck Ninja Dad said, "Hey, hey." Tasker said, "Thank you for answering my question. No problem." Um, yeah, if you guys are wanting to support the page, what we do, this is just a bonus thing that I'm doing right now. Normally, we do a regular live stream every Monday night. We review body cam footage. We give you the perspective of how we would handle the call as it's happening versus watching a video then going back and Monday morning quarterbacking it. It's a unique way. Typically, we'll have a special guest. Um, we'll go over questions and answers with them at the beginning, and then the second half of the show is the body cam review stuff. So if you guys are ever interested in that, we don't do it on Instagram because Instagram is a vertical platform where YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn we get more bang for our buck on there. And I work a full-time job as a cop, and I'm still in the military, and I'm a dad, so can only do it about once a week. My kids are all they're teenagers, so they're sleeping or being bums, and my wife's at work. I'm jumping on live just to pass the morning. Plus, it's raining. Dead legs on. He says, "Aloha, kids." Tasker 66. I'm wondering how fusion centers are helping or hurting people. I never heard a case where cops get info from fusion centers to help their cases. I'm taking. I'm struggling to taking you seriously with a Tom Selleck mustache. I don't blame you, buddy. Oh, hi, puppy. You guys want to see my little girl here? Oh, there she is. Addie, what are you doing? What are you doing, little girl? Hi. Oh. um, what was the question? The fusion center. So fusion centers are a huge help. For those that don't know, fusion centers are kind of like your homeland security, anti-terrorism, domestic terrorism center. So what it really depends on is the up channeling and down channeling of intelligence based on information that your state and local levels are getting, and then what the FBI and other federal agencies may be getting. They should be putting everything into that fusion center. Is why they call it a fusion center. Um, as far as the information going, um, a lot of times it's more of a security thing than it is for cases that as a street level, local level cop, that's how I see it. But as far as solving cases for higher up people than the street level guys, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the experience. I've heard of a lot of good work they've done and helped solve, but that's just one small little sliver of my experience compared to the whole rest of the nation. So I don't know. In my experience, yes, they've been great. Um, why do you put cop and military before dad? It's just the order I said it in, bro. It's always being a dad first. Don't read too deep into that. We're on here talking cop stuff, so I said that first. Andy Fletcher's in the house. What's up? He goes, just stumbled upon this. Yeah, it was just an impromptu. I'm bored. Trying to answer y'all's questions today. We're talking about the whole thing that stemmed doing this was that chief that is driving, commuting from I think Utah or Idaho to California, and people are throwing a fit like it's the first they've ever heard of something like this. And I promise you, it's not new. I guess the big thing with it is as long as the department was aware of it, the powers that be, the mayor or whoever, I don't see the issue. Like where I'm at, I could never do that. It's against our general orders. It's written into the rules. You can't do that. Marine Blood's in the house. Says hi, Andy, King Pomegranate Duck Ninja. He's saying hi to everybody. Let me go over here to Instagram real quick. Make sure I didn't mean Rich. Oh, Rich Creamer in the house. He said, "Great meeting you a few weeks ago." Yeah, Rich has got, Rich. If you look at his profile, you look at him, you can be like, that guy, he looks like a mean Marine. That's what he looks like. That dude's got the heart the size of Texas. He is out trying to do great things for police officers' mental health awareness. I love it. So really good stuff. Brett McClendon said, "Missed a few lives. I need to get on YouTube and catching up on football currently." Yep. Any squirrels left? Yeah, not a lot. There's two that I got two squirrels that like to run back and forth on the electric line on the back of the yard. I leave them be. Right now, my idiot dogs are eating all. My house is surrounded by acorn trees. I don't know if you guys can see them. Those are all acorn trees, and they like to dump acorns all over, and my dogs eat them, and they poop 18 times more a day than they do when these acorns aren't falling. Now, this is where I get into training, guys. The reason that I don't just unload every time an acorn falls is because I've indoctrinated myself with training with these acorns falling. Oh man, sorry, couldn't resist the joke. Tasker 66 said the issues I think the powers that be aren't aware. According to a fire inspector, he couldn't enter a room and inspect it, and I'm assuming that makes it an unofficial case. I don't know. Acorn's the new shot timer. Yeah, where is Acorn Mag Dump? He ain't on today. Gina Maria in the house. Um, Bikes and Bullets. Thoughts on Dominic Izzo on Cop Talk? I love Dominic. We're boys. I've texted back and forth with him. He's a good dude. I think his heart's in the right place. He speaks way, way, way different than I ever would. Um, and some of his takes on things I don't agree with. But uh, overall, I truly think Izzo wants to improve policing. I think he was a good cop when he was a cop. He knows the job. But yeah, I like Dominic. He's like I said, he's that shock jock style. That's not me. I'm a educator. I want to discuss. I want to bring up topics and see what your guys' views are on them. Wade said Dom was on fire yesterday. I didn't catch it. I don't get a chance to see all his stuff, but yeah, never had a problem with Dom. Shit, he's called me out a few times, but this is the type of guy he is. He texts me and goes, "Hey," he goes, he's like, "I'm gonna get in your shit on this video." He's like, "But I just want to let you know." And I'm like, "Okay, what's your point of view?" And he tells me, he goes, "You know what? Yeah, actually, you got a good point. Yeah, go." He's not asking my permission, but he is giving me the respect to let me know that he was gonna do it. And when he said, I actually kind of agreed with him. So, uh, ask joke. What number are cops afraid of? No. What number are cops afraid of? Craig Holcomb. I'll trade my annoying ass pear tree for either, Andy. Yeah, I had a pecan tree. I don't know why I said it like that. A pecan tree in our yard, my old house. It's such a dirty tree. And I don't eat pecans. So wasn't a fan. We got rid of it. It wasn't huge, but it was growing into the fence and wrecking the fence too. 1983 civil lawsuit. That's the year I was born, by the way. Uh, oh, looking over Brett McClellan, dumping acorns, dumping mags. Yep. But yeah, if you guys want to help support the show, please just hit that like and follow. I'm not asking for your money, but there are places to donate if you want to do that too. Talking Tech, I heart you. Aw, thank you. I don't know if he's talking to me or somebody in the chat, but I'm going to take it like he's talking to me. Guys, this is your chance to ask questions to a cop, by the way. So feel free. As much as I love the side conversations and reading them, Andy Fletcher said, mine's killed the neighbor's power 3 times. Uh, Drew Sean Perkins said, what hood you from and what set you claim? I'm from Flint, bro. So I was with the Elmsiders, if you want my set. But yeah, grew up on Elm Street. Oh, Nana's in the background. Hi, Nana. She's on her smoke break. Yeah, if you know Flint, Michigan, that's where I'm originally from. Live down in Texas now, North Texas. Hey, he's the talking tech said, you. Alpha 74M said, hi, I just want to ask what's your personal favorite sidearm for carry? For work is my Glock, and that's usually what I carry a Glock everywhere. What I want is a staccato. I can't afford one. Oh, Drushan's from Lansing. That means he's a Michigan Spartans fan. I'm not a Spartan. As you can see, the blue and yellow right now. That's the reason I got this shirt, even though it's not a Wolverine shirt. Eric drank a lot of water and was dropped on his head a few times growing up. Drushan, yeah, I am a police officer, sir. I was a cop up in Saginaw, Michigan for a little bit, and then I came down to Texas. Being a cop is way better in Texas than it was in Michigan, I promise. I'm dropping protein bar all over them. Alice in Wonderland. Wow, you're from Flint. It was awful about what they did to people out there. Yep. It gets worse. All that money that they were trying to get to fix the water, um, they fixed the pipes out in the streets, but they wouldn't fix the pipes that led from the streets to the house, even though the city's corrupt ass was the ones that made that happen. So, if anybody knows Flint, it's just a it's just a bed of corruption. It's know nothing but failure since the plants all closed down and caused a vacuum of crime. So these poor people, they don't have the money to get that pipe fixed that leads from the house to the street. So there's still people boiling water to this day. To this day. Very sad. Gary Lynn said, "Hey Flint, I'm from Eaton Rapids. What's up, man? How far from home was the deterred terror attack?" It was right in my home city, bro. Obviously, I don't say what city it is. What's the name of the firearm that you can't afford? I want to research it. It's the staccato P, and then the staccato CS, I think it's called. Those are the two I want. Do you have Marine Blood? Do you have body cam footage you want the guys to react to on our regular live stream? Join Discord. Oh, he's not asking me. He's throwing Marine Blood's always doing his job. I love it. Come out with your hands up and a jelly donut. Make me some jelly donuts. I'm just a donut fan in general. It's really not. I don't know if there's been a donut I haven't liked. He said I didn't realize it wouldn't put it as a link. James Arnold Isk Staccato. Yeah, I was gonna say I think you spelled it wrong, but my spelling is no better, so I'm not gonna judge you, sir. I tell you what, I've never shot, but I think is probably better than a staccato is the Nighthawk. So if you guys get a chance to see the Nighthawk, that is also another very. I think that's like a $5,500 pistol, where the staccato is about 3 grand. So they're not cheap, guys. Was on The Simpsons. Yeah, the news article I'm saying says it's a Millbrae police chief, Eamon Eamon Allen, accused of living at a California apartment. Brett McClellan said, learned yesterday from a trooper that there's the Taser 10s can link to the body cams and turn all of them on scene. Yes. Yeah. That's not just Taser 10. Taser 7 can do that. You just need to have the communication stuff so that works. You can have it so your body cam turns on if you have to draw your gun, draw your taser. Yeah, there's things you can put in your holsters for that. It just crawled on me. Wade Lucero, Nighthawk, $7,500 I used for competition. Yeah, that's insane. It's insane. I've never shot one, but I heard they are amazing. You know that Kimber made a special Air Force version. Yeah, I'm not a Kimber fan. Felt like they're just slightly. I think Kimbers are just slightly better than your stock pistols. Marine Bloods. Yes, Eric, that was for the chatters, not you. Kylo, quit eating acorns, dude. Both of these morons had to clean more poop in the last 2 days. Rich Kramer said, "Thank you, anytime, brother." Yeah, and Rich, feel free to put you guys' program in there. I think it was called Lighthouse, if I remember correctly. I'm going off memory, so Rich, I apologize if I get it wrong, but feel free to link your thing in the chat. Marine Bloods, I would love that kind of money. Eric, I need 150% pay raise. I can't afford one either, bro. Trust me. Alpha 74 said, "What's your view on the Beretta pistol as a service sidearm?" Terrible. I had the Beretta in the Air Force. I hated it. Not a fan. I don't like the double to single. I don't like Berettas. Accurate. It's an accurate gun. Once you've gone Glock, it's very hard to go back to a weapon like that. John Roberts is putting poop faces out there. Everything is junk once you shoot a Nighthawk, even some Atlas that are $10,000. Bet. I bet. Today, whereabout? Scream help to prove this isn't pre-recorded. Help. I'm not gonna scream. Kimber is great. Why would this be pre-recorded? It says live for y'all, doesn't it? I'm literally reading the comments as they go. I don't know. What do you want me to do? Put the number 10 up. There you go. I don't know if that helps you see that it's live. Open slide pistols suck, especially for dirt. Yeah. Andy Fletcher, all I'm going to say is my Taurus didn't need a break in time for $300. It just ran. Taurus, I'm with you. I haven't heard bad things about Taurus. Accuracy isn't important at all. Eh, Courts would disagree with you, at least from a police perspective. If I'm going to fire, I need to be accurate. He said, "This is live. What time is it there?" It is 1:09 p.m. where I'm at currently, November 1st. By the way, in your opinion, why are your submachine guns phased out of police service? Oh, I didn't know they were. I've never used a submachine gun. I don't think they are phased out in Texas. Shit, I believe our guys have full auto. Our tactical units, or specialized units, I should say. If you can't afford a staccato, buy a Bull Armory. Well, sir, I don't know where Bull Armory is made, but when you live in Texas, you want to support Texas, and staccato's made in Texas. John Roberts, my birth sign's a Taurus. Taurus makes nice triggers for their rifles. Always liked it. Rich Creamer says thanks again. No worries, brother. Oh, he's got a link up there. There you go. Yeah, Lighthouse. I was right. Lighthouse.org. Make sure you guys check them out. It's a way to get mental health stuff for your first responders. Check them out. Good stuff. John Roberts says it's 12:09 here in Wyoming. Yeah, you guys got the benefit of being behind my time. I'm older than you right now. I'm an hour older. Some good interactions going for Saturday at noon. See, Paulina's in there. Oh, that's who said that earlier. It's Paulina. What's up, Paulina? Alpha 74. So thanks for answering my question. Stay blessed. I appreciate it. Asker 60 says 1910 where I'm at. Hmm. Dogs. They're driving me crazy. I don't know where you would be that it would be 1910, but I'm going to find out. Where is it in the world? It is. Um, well, Google didn't help me there. Europe. Europe doesn't really narrow it down. Steve Wallace in the house. What's up, Steve? Jumping back over to Instagram, looking at that. Time change tonight. Oh, yeah, there is a time change, isn't there? Bikes and bullets. Good to go. Two cops, one donut. And everyone have a great day and weekend. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Andy Fletcher said, England. See, that's why I'm glad I have it. European. No, European. I'm not European. European. Is the lighthouse and nationwide? If so, may I look into it for my list of first responder resources? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look at the lighthouse thing. Let me see if I can copy the link that he sent. Just type it. It is https slash www.lighthouseHW.org. There you go. There you go, Marine Bloods. Put it in there. Greenland, maybe. Yeah, I think it is free and I think it is nationwide. But I talked to those guys at IACP. Really liked what they had to say. Send it in Discord. You would make me do extra steps, wouldn't you? Son of a bitch. I think that's right. Yep. Fun. Fun is messing with my screen. Everything's Chemo Dotson said, I see the stash is trimmed back. Grew mine out on a third trip to almost had a Fu Manchu. Well, the stash, I promise you, is only temporary. As soon as I get done with this military ceremony, the beard's coming back. I look too much like my dad right now, which creeps me out. Wade asked, do you know when someone enters the court system, the clerk creates a bond in our name, and that bond matures over time, and the money is split between the judges and DAs? What? I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like some sovereign citizen lore. Why did you post it in me? Bro, I just saw you. It was the first thing that was up when I opened up Discord. Trying to run a live right now. But whining. Oh my God, the sun is getting so bright. I have to cut this off because I can't see. Y'all see that retired cop was arrested for posting a meme? What? No, he didn't get arrested for posting a meme. You can't get arrested for posting a meme. Can you? Was it like a terrorist threat? Now's your chance, y'all. I see a bunch of people joining and not saying much in Instagram. Feel free to ask a cop questions. There you go. They stretched it to claim it was a threat to a school. Marie Bledsoe, you need to be perfect and do everything correctly. Uh, so they were trying to say that it was a threat to a school. Over a month in jail. And did the courts uphold that? I can imagine that's going to go way up the chain. Jacked up on Mountain Dew. I just typed it into Google. Retired cop arrested for a meme. A retired policeman. Oh, get out of here. Oh, these bastards are going to make me try to pay for their article. I'm not doing that. Tennessee sheriff defends jailing liberal activist for posting a Trump meme about a school shooting. He sat in jail for more than a month, accused of threatening mass violence. So he was 61 years old. Even though Sheriff Nick Weems admits the meme does not actually contain any threatening words that led investigators to think it was a real threat. He sat in jail for more than a month, unable to make the $2 million bond. This has everything to do with a guy coming onto Perry County page, posting this picture, leading people in our community to believe that there was a hypothetical Perry County high school shooting that caused fear in our community. I don't know. I think he's going to have an easy lawsuit on that one. That seems like free speech. I don't know how you really mess with that. What's up, Vanessa? She said good morning. James Oliver said hi. How are you? What's up, James? Doing well. It was mocking Trump, is what Wade said or Andy said. It is easy to miss posts on Discord. Yeah, it is. Sort of like the man that went to jail for posting a meme for the wrong election day. Asker said, question, is it more beneficial overall that the DA get appointed than voted for? I mean, the current system isn't working with so much political stuff going on. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I don't really have a good answer for that. I see benefits to both. I don't like the elected side of it. I had a chief who would go another state around 4 days per month. The deputy chief had it under control, over 125 sworn. Yeah, see? The human species is literally losing their minds. Auditor James Freeman told McKinney, Texas, I will settle for $1 if you change the city name to James Freeman. That'd be awesome. John Roberts, I have to go now, brother. Have a good day. See you, bro. Douglas Mackey went to jail for a meme in 2023. It's nuts. Sorry, I don't think that should ever happen. Free speech. Very much for the Constitution. James said, I'm okay, but I was at court yesterday. Ooh. For your own case or as a juror? You don't have to tell. Just being nosy. It's funny when I use Restream to post these lives on YouTube and on Instagram, my text does not go through onto Instagram. So I have to literally go to Instagram and type. Restream really needs to get that fixed. We need to concern ourselves with making it easier to get rid of bad DAs. What I want to know is how are DAs evaluated? Are they evaluated by wins? Are they evaluated by the amount of cases they handle? Like, I'm just curious how that goes. Never really got a straight answer from anybody before. Paulina said, what's a typical day for you as a cop? So I work in a real-time crime center. So a lot of times what I do is I just show up to work. I got to go through all my emails. I'm very much more administrative now. I go through my emails, make sure there's no tasks that are being sent to me for the day. And then once I do that, I check on my people, see if there's anything they need, see if there's any training that they need to get done that they're required to have. And then see if there's any needs that they have. I'm always asking my guys, hey, what do you need to do your job better? Like, is there anything you guys need? If it, no matter how dumb it is, usually the first thing they say is they want a take home car, but every cop. Other than that, my day just consists of overwatching, seeing all of the activity going on throughout the city that I work, and handling any behind the scenes stuff for my guys while they're working and helping out patrol officers out in the field. Little Boost Mobile said, "What's up, brother?" I like that name. He said, "What's up, brother? Hope all is well. I appreciate you." Did you see Ron's Jr. said, "Did you see this video?" I have maybe I have no way during the live to click on that link, brother. Sorry, I can't check it. Dakota Miller said, "Are you one of those cops that watches videos and sends speeding tickets to out-of-state drivers?" No, sir. So I work in a real-time crime center. Let me kind of explain to you what that is. A call, I'll break down like how calls work to give you an idea. So typically somebody calls 911. Let's say somebody's breaking into my car. That goes into dispatch, and then you'll see a call sheet, all the calls that are being held in the city. And where I work, there's over 1 million calls a year. I work in a city that's like 1 to 1.2 million people I'll just say in the North Texas area. So those calls are scrubbed by my guys. So my guys in the real time crime center, they'll see that what we would call a priority one burglary because the victim sees the person breaking into their vehicle. So my guys will click on that call. They'll start looking in the area to see if there's any cameras in the area. They will tap into the officers responding body cam. Um, they will look up, if there's a suspect description, because sometimes maybe the suspect's known. Let's say they give a name. So my guys are getting real time information to the officers as they're responding. They may launch a drone to get in the area. Um, Air One may be up, so we'll be watching the Air One footage. The officer in the field doesn't have that advantage. He can't do all that stuff. He's got to handle the call while he's there. So we're doing all the background stuff for them while they're out there. It increases officer safety, increases citizen safety. It helps put a better case together, so we're not wasting the court's time. Um, and it helps keep the bad guy safer. I know that sounds weird, but sometimes if we can just keep an eye on them with, like, let's say a drone, we don't try to take them down in a residential area where a lot of innocent citizens may be at risk. We may try to take them down on a public road where there's not that many people around. So having a real-time crime center is very, very beneficial to the safety and security of everybody. And I really enjoy it. Ron said, "Do you guys use Flock LPR?" Yes. Where I'm at, we have Flock and Insight LPRs. They're really good. They really help you catch a lot of people. As long as you're doing it the right way. And that's one thing I will say. Our policies and procedures, we're very open and transparent with them, with our community, and they support it. Wendy Luhu asked, "What are you watching for?" We're not watching necessarily. We're responding most of the time. Beyond watcher programs, same with doctors. Who supervises the profession that invented human experimentation? Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. James Oliver said, "I got arrested last year. It was my first time at court." Yeah, it can be nerve wracking, man. Even as a cop, I get nervous every time I have to go to court, like to testify or be questioned or any of that stuff. It's like passing a cop on the freeway. Like, I don't care, even if you're a cop, you pucker up and look at your speed. You're like, "Was I speeding?" Stylist said, "Thank you for being a peace officer." Hey, not a problem. Wendy Lou Who said, "It's a really important job to help the guys in the field." I agree. I agree. Is it still illegal to shoot down drones in rural? Is it still legal to shoot down drones in rural areas? I don't know. Is that legal? I don't know if that's legal. It doesn't seem like it should be. Yes. Schutze said, didn't know that officers can tap into another officer's body worn. Yes, that is, it is, again, everything is logged and audited and tracked. So let's say that there's an officer out in the field and I tap into his body camera. That is logged. It has to be added to what we call the sheet. So the CAD information, um, the dispatch call, what they're looking at on their computer screen. So that officer will know that, you know, Officer Levine tapped into his body camera, and I'll list the reasons why I did it because there's very strict rules of when and how I can tap into their cameras. So all of that will be so that officer doesn't feel like he's just being spied on. There'll be a reason for it. Um, and there's some benefits to tapping into people's body cameras while they're on a scene, especially if they're alone. Sometimes you get officers aren't answering their radio, and then you tap into their camera, and the next thing you know, he's rolling around on the ground. He can't get to his radio to respond. So we've tapped in and we're jumping on the radio. Hey, we need officers to get to this officer right now. He's in a fight. He can't respond. So it helps with officer safety stuff. We can be listening in on their body cam while it's streaming and watching and start getting information. Like, a person's giving them all this info and we're typing it in and back checking it while that officer's out of his car because he doesn't have the ability to do that. Centurion Tactical, what is his department policy where you live? Some say you have to live within the city limit. Yeah, that's kind of how mine is. Like I have to live, I think, within an hour or 50 miles. I think it's give or take. Wade said, I lived in Texas in the 90s. It was legal. My grandfather was a cop before I was born. That's cool. Wade, it depends on how high they are. Yeah, usually the height limit on drones, I think it's 400 feet. Beyond Watcher program said, yeah, Axon is crazy powerful. Yeah, Axon makes some cool shit. I can tap in live to a body camera and I can tap in live to a drone and I can tap in live to your dash camera. So, like I said, guys, this tech that we have, I know it scares some people because they worry about Big Brother, but it helps hold cops accountable more. It's a I don't want to say that's a weird concept to think of, but if you let them use it, the accountability is there more because everything is tracked, logged, and audited, and they can't be altered. So if they do something shady with that tech, they have to log into it. They've got to associate themselves. There's no way around it because they can't get it in any other way. So it helps us know who's using what, when they used it, and why they used it. So if you do get a cop that gets a little um goes goes corrupt and is trying to track an ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend or whatever shenanigans they're trying to do. It's all logged. So once that becomes known, they're screwed, as they should be. Eric, have you used the body warming translation thing? I have. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Thought should be an enemy for every citizen that value freedom. The possibility of abuse is mind blowing, in my opinion. Okay, Tasker, you let us carry a gun that also has the capability of being abused. I would say don't blame the tool, blame the person using the tool. And like I said, FLOT has an audit log. So if I use it improperly, that can be tracked. That's why good policy before use is important. I think the tool is too valuable to sit there and blame the tool of being an enemy of the state. It's how you use it and the policies you have in place. So, like where I'm at, the flock information is only kept 30 days and then it's deleted. So, and then every other camera we have, I think, is 5 days. It's not a flock camera like the city cameras. 5 days. So then that gets purged. So I think how you use it matters and having good policies and procedures in place prior to getting it. Where I think some departments mess up is they get the tool, they start using it, and then they're creating their policy afterwards. That's bad. I don't think you should be doing that. few months back, a guy was arrested for shooting down a drone, but I forget the particulars. Dude, I think anytime you're shooting into the air at something that's not like a threat to you, like an imminent threat of serious bodily injury or death, yeah, I think you're gonna get in trouble. It just makes sense. Beyond Watcher program said, right, it's not the tool. Same with all government. Don't blame the government for how people use it. Technology has come, Ron Z Jr. said, technology has come a long way from the days of the VHS yes system. Yes, you're right. I remember changing tapes in the back of a police car as well. Officer Glick's in the house. What's up, guys? Make sure you check out his channel. Officer Glick does a lot of good stuff out there. I believe he's out of NYPD, somewhere close to that. Buddy, you guys see my big Dobie? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, yeah. This is Kylo Ren. If you guys didn't know, I'm a big Star Wars nerd. Now you know. You good boy. Is you good buddy? Have a kiss? Have a kiss? No? Look how cute he is. Stop docking your dog's ears, by the way. They look so much cuter with them ears. Look at them ears. Looking your boy popping big shot bubbles. Your boyfriend must love your mustache. All right, you got me. You got me. Oh, that's funny. I like a good roast. The person using the tool don't have accountability at all. Cop and other government officials have free reign. City, that's not true. It's not true. I've seen two or three people get fired already for abusive tools or get days off without pay. Just depends on what their track record is. Centurion says drones can carry explosives. I don't want it anywhere near my. Bro, have you ever heard of a single drone attack with explosives in the US? You cannot use that excuse because you've watched some Ukrainian war videos. It's not going to hold up in court. How can you use a lightsaber on your butt? You guys need to be appropriate. Um, any thoughts on the Sean Grayson verdict? Justice? Question mark. Which one is Sean Grayson? I'm gonna guess that you're talking. I don't know the guy's name from the Sonia Massey case, but I'm gonna assume that's who that is. Let me look it up. I think I'm close to that. Yeah, Sonya. Yeah, that's the same dude. Yeah, we covered that on live. I said that dude should have been roasted. Hey, you two, quit. Um, that guy deserves prison, 100%. My whole thought process. We broke that video down live when it first came out. They should have never been in the house. She called because somebody was allegedly trying to break into the house. They checked the perimeter. It's clear that she's crazy, like almost immediately that she has some mental health issues going on, but that's not illegal. And you check the perimeter, you'd say, hey, we found nothing. You don't need her ID. You don't need any of that. And she was a frequent flyer. They known her. They knew who she was. So get out of there. Leave. Why did we go in the house? There was no need. There was so many opportunities to leave. And then my other thing was is the moment she said the rebuke you in the name of Jesus thing, and that partner flew off the Grayson guy flew off the handle before the use of force happened. It should have been on that partner to tell them, hey, whoa, ma'am, I'm sorry, we're gonna leave. Partner, go outside. Like that was his opportunity to step in, and it didn't happen. So mm, I am I'm totally fine with that dude going to prison. I think he deserves the max limit that they can give him. Hope that answers your question. Thomas Jefferson said, if they, the authoritarians, ever got control of our medicine and diet and our bodies, we would become unhealthy. Why don't we have a medical police force that investigates doctors? I think they do. I don't know what they're called. Some hide. Ooh, I got the chills all of a sudden. Drones with explosives is a legitimate anti-terrorism risk. Every military base lists it is. It is a threat. I'm not disagreeing with that. But look what target you just said. A military target, not you in your backyard in the middle of BFE. Again, would it be fun to shoot down drones? For sure. I'm with you. Nick, I appreciate your work and your opinion. Thank you for your work. Hey, not a problem, brother. Um, but shooting down drones, you're gonna get in trouble. Why risk it? Definitely shouldn't have entered so many things that shouldn't have happened. Yeah, agreed. Shutting off body cams is technically destruction of evidence. No, it's not. It's not evidence if it's not being recorded. What would be destruction of evidence is deleting the evidence that you have, but turning your body camera off is not a destruction of evidence. It's immoral and unethical. So I don't think there's two things on body cams. I don't think cops should be allowed to mute them, and I don't think they should be allowed to turn them off during a call. So elbows up, worshiping the father of lies. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. So slavery was never abolished. Just oh my god, I don't know. Some of you trolls, like, what do you think you're going to accomplish with what you're saying? You're not going to accomplish anything. Having actual, real discussion is where you accomplish stuff. So saying random stuff that has nothing to do with a law enforcement page. By the way, the lawsuit alone, when you shoot down a drone, it falls on a cop's car. Yeah. There are medical boards that investigate, but they don't really investigate their medical. Yeah, I don't. You're way beyond my scope, beyond Watcher program. Meatloaf in the house. Doctors have so much power, they could probably force us to take an unknown AI drug, and the medical board wouldn't comprehend this is a crime. For my Instagram folks that are wondering where I'm reading this stuff, I'm also on YouTube. So, some YouTube comments that I'm reading. Feel free to jump over. If you're on Instagram and you're not a big fan of watching on Instagram, jump to our YouTube channel. Works as well. Turning off body cam prior or turning off body cam could be prior restraint. Yeah, but it's not destruction of evidence. Y'all really want to talk about this medical board stuff? I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. It's not what I do. Awareness is step one. I agree. Awareness is step one. I only troll Eric, his mustache, United States Air Force, and his Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Fair enough. Fair enough, y'all. We've been going for an hour and a half. That's crazy. My dog's my dog's a Kool-Aid man in and out of the doggy door. Kyla, what are you doing? What are you doing? Thank you. Oh, thank you. Wet ass tongue. How bad is the food stamp situation going to get? Oh, I don't. I think it's a lot of people talking. They ain't gonna do anything. I don't think they're gonna do anything. That's not a challenge either, so don't take it as a challenge. I just don't think it's going to be as big as what people are saying. Marine's Blood said, yes, there's a lot of corruption in the medical field. However, this is a cop show, so let's try to keep it somewhat law enforcement topic related. Yeah. What are you doing, buddy? Standing. He's standing watch for me. He's watching my six. Two cops, one donut. Why don't you think turning body camera off is destruction of evidence? There should be AV evidence where there is none. Because it's not. Yes, they're if it's their policy that the camera should be on, sure. But that's not destruction of evidence. There's nothing being destroyed. It's not there. You're talking about two totally different things. He destroyed the video that he had already taken and went and deleted it or whatever. Yeah. Now you've got some sort of destruction. But turning your body camera off is not destruction of evidence. It's just not. That dog looks small, haven't you found? That dog's 105 pounds. He's a big boy. And he's abnormally tall for a Doberman. That's the other thing. I don't know why he's so tall. But I've got a pointer, a German short hair pointer. I like bird dogs. And she is, she's probably 55, 65 pounds. Not nearly as big as him, but she is so much faster than him and runs his ass in circles. She's doing it right now out in the yard. Just, he can't keep it. He gets frustrated. He'll come over here and he'll try to tell on her. Yeah, she won't let me catch her. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the comments here. Medical crimes, not law enforcement related. No, medical crimes are not for what I do, guy. Like I'm a municipal cop. We don't deal with that stuff. I do believe doctor crimes are federal. I were to guess because I've never once handled any medical claim laws once ever. 20 years. Is destroying the collection feed that would have generated evidence not been cut? No. You're not going to win this argument with me. you, you could think you're right. I'll think I'm right. We'll just agree to disagree. You have to actually destroy something for it to be destruction of evidence. Cutting the feed is not destruction of evidence. It's violating policies and procedures. There's no law that says a cop has to keep their body camera on. Do I agree that it's wrong? Yes, it's wrong. You shouldn't be. I just told you guys. Think your body camera, the moment that you are dispatched to a call and you accept that call, your camera should be on. You shouldn't turn it on once you're on scene. You should turn it once you've accepted the calls. Call comes in to your computer, you hit en route, you turn your body camera on, and you head to the call. And you don't mute it. So ever. I don't think you should mute your call. If it needs to be, forget what they call it, when you go through and scrub the video to take out anything that shouldn't, that's privacy for media and stuff like that. Like that's their job to mute the camera, not the officer in the field. Turning off body cam doesn't delete the video. It's saved when it was on, right? Yeah, no. Police do not have the ability, the street cops do not have the ability to delete video. I don't think anybody has the ability to delete videos anymore. If you have an Axon platform, I don't have experience with any other platforms other than Axon. Redacted, that's the word. Thank you. Wipes calling. Be back later. See you, Centurion. Appreciate you, brother. They need special codes to modify that data, and if they do, it's logged that they did. That makes sense. If you smash the body cam, that's destruction. Yeah, if you smash the body cam, yeah, that would be destruction of evidence for sure. However, the video is uploaded to the cloud, the secured evidence cloud anyway. So even if you destroy the camera, you're not getting rid of the evidence. But it's your intent. If your intent was to destroy the camera to get rid of the evidence because you thought it was going to get rid of the evidence, then you've committed the crime. Yeah, Wade said, I agree, Andy. You can have so many different policies and general orders. Yeah, you can even have general orders that contradict each other. That's a real problem. I've seen that. I've seen that personally, even at my own department. They've been fixed since, but um, it it really does take a special circumstance for somebody to realize, like, oh shit, there's this general order over here and this one over here, and they contradict each other. I don't think it's ever done intentionally. I just think you get a problem, somebody comes up with a general order, and then later on you find out that that general order contradicts a current one. Beyond said, well, it can be tampering with evidence. The audio video evidence is shorter than it should be, therefore it was tampered with. Um, that's a stretch because you have to tamper with something that exists. If it doesn't exist, it was, again, I don't know that that would fit. Who owns the video of the body cam? The department, the city? Is it different from department to department? That's a good question. I think the city owns it no matter what, because the police are, we're servants to the city. So we always say, like, if you wreck a patrol car, oh, you just damaged city property. So to me, the evidence would be city evidence, property. Yeah, I don't know. Just I'm guessing. Paulina on Instagram said, "Is there a punishment for not turning your body camera on? Does that happen often?" There is punishment. It is generally, it, it has levels. If it's your first time, and sometimes you think you turned it on, like you're on a hot call, it develops right in front of you. You're jumping out of the car. You thought you turned it on, um, but you don't have time to sit down and double check. Like you're in the middle of shit. It happens. I used to work at entertainment district. A fight would happen right in front of you, as you're just walking around, and so you're trying to turn your camera on and go handle that at the same time. Sometimes your camera doesn't turn on, so it just depends on the circumstance behind it. I think if you're in your patrol car and you get dispatched to a call that takes, you know, longer than a minute to drive to and all that stuff, like you've got time to ensure your camera's on. So it may start out with a verbal warning, then escalate to a coaching, then escalate to days off. And then, if it happens 4 times, you might get fired. I don't know. I've never heard of anybody. I, Cops, okay, let me give you perspective. My perspective, feel naked without their body cam. Where the culture's changed so much that if they step out of the office and they realize they forgot their body camera on the charging station or whatever, they freak out and they run back in. Oh man, I almost went out there without my body camera. And they depend on them so much. So I think the culture's really good, at least where I'm at, with body cameras. Um, Tasker said a good legal question could be if turning off the body camera could be seen as a Brady List or Giglio disclosure. Yeah, that is good. I really think if you turned your camera off, you better have a damn good reason. Like for us, you're allowed to turn your camera off once the call is complete. And I've seen this happen where the officer's like, "All right, you go that way, you go that way." It was because of some verbal argument, and they're like, "End recording," and they turn their camera off, and then all of a sudden that person turns back around and they want to jaw at the other dude again, and their camera was off, and it misses that fight. So it can happen. I think when they leave the car, also if they activate the lights. I'm not sure what you're saying there, brother. Axon has a feature that will automatically turn them on. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Yeah, if I turn my car on to code 3 and run lights and sirens, all my cameras turn on. So that's the thing. If I step out of my car and the door opens, that'll turn the camera on. I'm in patrol. Dogs are fighting in the yard. Play fighting. But yeah, it's sure my dogs aren't being stupid. They like to dig. They're chasing a squirrel right now. Marines Blood said, "Yeah, probably great. Yeah, some cops get in a hurry. They turn it off. They start to yeah. It happens. They learn their lessons. I promise, from turning it off too early. One of those things that you gotta You learn over time. You learn better ways to operate that camera through your patrol habits. I'm to the point where it's it's like the first instinct I had. I had to train myself to do it, but the moment, if I look at something and it just sort of looks wonky to me, I'm already turning my camera on. Have you made a podcast or video about the Karen Reed case? I'm not sure what case that is. Can you kind of give me a little brief synopsis of what that case is? I'm really bad with names and memory and stuff like that, guys. So I'm more of a, you know, take a left at the McDonald's and then take a right. I don't know street names. I don't remember artists for songs. I'm just like, the lyrics kind of go like this. Jonathan said, "So I'm back. Where is the conversation? Not seeing it." We are talking about body cams right now. Ron Z Jr. said, our cams activate automatic when speeds are over 90 miles an hour. Addie, get out of there. Oh, you dummy. She just jumped in the pool. Yeah, you big dummy. She's over here panting because she's been running back and forth. Um, yeah, our cameras. Well, if you're going 90, yeah, you should be running lights and sirens anyway. Um, Beyond Watcher said, I was thinking that an LT at the station should be the only one who can turn them off. They would call in finished and the LT would cut the feed. That would require that technology isn't there yet. Even that wouldn't be possible unless you're at a really small agency. I mean, because you got to remember, like where I'm at, there's nearly 2,000 cops. You know, if they're all out in the if 10 of them, I say, are on a call, how are they possibly going to manage and watch all of that at the same time? You just don't have the manpower for that. She was on trial for the death of her police officer boyfriend. I watched that Karen Reed case. Wow. Boston dead cop charged girlfriend with more than iffy circumstances, evidence. State police cop. I don't know anything about that one, guys. What questions are you replying to? Anything police related, Jonathan? Or military related? I'm an Air Force cop, so if you got something for that, or if you got a question, I don't know. Just stay away from politics and religion, bro. If you stay away from those two things, we pretty much answer everything. Got to split. Take care. All right, Ron Z Jr. Take it easy, brother. Thanks for playing. According to Instagram, we got one person on. And if you're on our YouTube channel, guys, feel free to hit that like, subscribe. And if you want to help us out even more, all the money that you donate towards the cause goes directly into the show and keeping our YouTube channel and all that stuff going. Not trying to take your hard earned money, but it does cost money to do this stuff. And not looking to get rich, just looking to support what we got going on. Be better, not bitter. You should take a look at the case news over the world. I heard it mentioned in Europe. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff, brother. I promise. There's a lot of stuff that people want me to look at. Yeah, I don't think he has. Eric, if you like, I can send you a podcast who did a great breakdown of it. Yeah, send it in Discord. Number 19, L like yo. Did you already talk about the Detroit cop? What kind of discipline would he face? The Detroit cop. Is that the video that I posted where that vlogger was out there with all the Detroit cops during the vlogger that was talking about the dope use going on? I think that's the one that you may be talking about from something on YouTube. Just need you to clarify if that's what you're referring to. Treat people like ham, not spam. I promise his normal streams look far better than this. Yeah, they do. Is it coming across crappy, Marine's Blood? No, the ones who showed up at the court hearing with no. Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I have kind of shown a lot of Detroit stuff lately. So the dude that showed up with no pants. Um, People are asking, do I think he should have been fired? Do I think he should have been held in contempt of court? That's for the judge to decide. I don't. Judge has discretion, just like I have discretion when I pull someone over for a traffic offense. I don't want other people telling me who I should give breaks to, who I shouldn't give breaks to. That's his decision. I'm in his shoes. Yeah, probably going to hold him in contempt. I probably would. You should know better than that. It is a luxury and a freedom that we've never had up until COVID to be able to do court from your home. And then you're going to abuse it by being a moron and not wearing your pants. I bet if I hold you in contempt, you're never going to make that mistake again. But I'm betting that Judge got caught so off guard about him not wearing his pants. He just didn't know how to react in that moment, and he made a call to the department during the finals. So I'm pretty sure it was probably handled, but just the amount of shit he's gonna get from his own people. And I did hear through the grapevine that he got so much shit from his people he took time off of work just to probably just to reset himself. um, yeah, don't underestimate the power of peer pressure. I think it has its place. Yeah, Andy said that was over a Zoom, right? Yeah, it was over Zoom. Wade said, I met an Air Force guy at the range. He was security forces. He parachutes into enemy territories and sets up landing zones and even full size airstrips. What do they call those guys besides badass? Um, I'm trying to think of what that position is called. I'm not that cool, so I don't get to do that. Damn, I did. I used to know what you're talking about. It's not the paratrooper or paratroopers. It's not the pararescue. Pararescue's the medical side. Yeah, CB's that is different. I think they're oh damn, what are they called? I can't remember. No, that is a position in the Air Force. But CBs are not. CBs are I think that's Navy if that makes sense. Or maybe Army, but Air Force has a position that does it. I just can't think of what they're called. Air Force. Uh, no, that's no no. Can't find it. But yeah, that is the Air Force position. I just can't think of what it's called. The chief is living in a different state. How did this happen? Combat engineer. Yes, Jonas, Alan John Ace 7815. Yeah, air combat engineer. I think that's right. No, because we have Red Horse out of Montana, where I was at in Great Falls. That was part of their job. They'd go up to forward deployment locations, set up the base, set up the airstrip, do all that stuff. That was the name of the unit. I just don't know the name of their actual position, but I'm pretty sure it's an air combat engineer. Yeah, I tried to look it up, but Google was not. I probably didn't ask the question very well, so it didn't really give me any point of reference. I knew somebody in the chat would figure it out. So appreciate that. You're the boss, applesauce. Love it. Uh, Tasker said, I say thanks again to all my questions answered. Bye, y'all. Have a nice day. Take it easy, brother. But Mama Cub, the chief living in a different state, that's not a new thing. Firefighters do it all over the place. Police do it. As long as the department is aware of it and allows it, it's not a problem, especially at a chief level. The chief is not showing up to scenes that most of their job can be done from a phone or a computer. So that's why we had that. Alan said it's been a long time, but I think that's it also. So yeah, it's not a new concept, I promise y'all. The only time it's a problem is if they have strict rules against it. Like where I'm at, I have to live within 50 miles or an hour, I think, of our department. But that I knew that going into it. I know it looks like I've been drinking this the whole time. It's because I have. I'm only about halfway down. I just slow sip energy drinks. I don't chug them. Otherwise, I'll be all. Bang's not a sponsor, I promise. Low Bang, that's your boy. Not opposed to it. The sun's getting bright. Well, it looks like the questions are slowing down. We're almost at 2 hours. Unless people have more stuff they want to chat about, we might wrap this one up and call it a nice little bonus, a bonus live chat that we were able to do. I'm curious how it looks on YouTube because I did it vertical. I don't know if I've ever done a live vertical on YouTube. Just wondering if the ratio shows up properly. Gives them an excuse for working from home. Good to help keep politics out of the station. Agreed. Oh, look, it does show up. I guess I could have been highlighting comments this whole time. All right, y'all. Think if that's all you guys got, might end it right now and have a fun little morning. Talk to you guys later. Please, please, please hit the like, follow button um, on any of our stuff, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Clapper, uh, whatever else stuff we're on. We also do audio on Spotify, Apple for our podcast stuff. Be sure to check that out. Um, Wade said, besides, you never want the chief on scene that makes most the mistakes. Get a sergeant or watch commander. 100%. I love our chiefs, but I don't want them out there. Something said, thank you, Eric. Uh, you have done one before. It's been a little difficult to pay attention to the chat. Yeah, agreed. Sorry about that, guys. All right, everybody. Thank you. Take it easy. And I will catch you Monday night for our live stream, which I got switched to days. So our live stream may be going to Sunday nights. So be on the lookout for that. Everybody, take it easy. Thank you for joining. And I got to figure out how to end this because the button is not readily available. Let me end it on Instagram and know how to end this. All right.